Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever and whenever you are watching. I have a special guest with me today. Let me bring her in. Her name is Rainbow Fright. We're going to be talking about 90 Day Fiance, the
One
tell
second,
all.
Lady Sasha. Sorry. There's a bit of an echo, I think. Because I'm hearing.
You're hearing two? Let me see if I unplug my mic and plug it back in. Brexit. Okay, how does it sound now?
Let me see. Let me wait a second, see if it catches up. Say a couple of words.
I'm gonna start. I should start with this chat, but I'm gonna wait a second. How's it sound now?
It's still echoing, I think.
Echoing. Okay. I can switch headphones because this headphone has an extra mic on it, and I can switch to. Let's try this one. Okay. How about now?
Oh, you know what? I apologize, my friend. Oh my gosh. This is so my fault.
Oh, okay.
I had another window open that I didn't realize was open. I apologize. It was hidden behind some other windows.
Cool. I could switch
so
back
your
to
first headphones are probably fine. Yeah, if you want to go back to those.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch back to the earbuds because I prefer them when I'm wearing earrings. I'd rather have the earbuds on than the over-the-ear headphones.
So I actually had two windows open with the video playing, and I didn't realize.
There we go.
All right. Yeah.
Now I can greet the chat. Let's see who is in here. Of course, Tony Man is going to start with making me rap. Now you know you're trying it with this one. Let me see if I could do it though. Oh, wait, that wasn't the first one. This was the first one. Niggas better run. You could get shot, homie, if you do what you want to put your guns up. Tell your crew don't front. I'm a hoodlum, nigga. You know you were too once. Bitch, I'm about to blow up too. I'm the one today. I'm new shit too. Boo. Young Rapunzel. Who are you, bitch? New lunch? I'ma ruin you. I can't say the last word, but there's no way I was going to spit those bars as cleanly and precisely as Mrs. Elia Banks. I love her to death, but I've never been able. There's two female rappers I cannot rhyme along to save my life, and it's Left Eye from TLC and Azalea Banks. I will listen to the track over and over again, and it's too tongue tying for me to try to rap along to.
Fast.
Yeah, that's how I know they have skills.
Yep. I love Azalea Banks and Lisa.
Selena's in the house from Welcome to the Dark Side. She says, hey, ladies, my favorite people. Happy Friday. Check out her video. I know she just posted a new video. I saved it to watch later, but I can't remember what the subject matter was, but it was definitely something horror. And I'm going to get back to watching it, but she just dropped a new video. And Tony Manuel says, yeah, Lady Shasha earbuds are always good for an ear infection. Oh, earbuds can cause an ear infection? Or are they bad for my ear infection? Should I not have them in? Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I didn't even think about that. Okay. Well, we'll find out later. Eventually, I guess I'll find out. So let me make this smaller because I do have visuals.
Yay.
Should we start with, I want to start with the fashion because.
Sure.
Let's skip through. Okay, these are not coming up in the order that I put them. Let's try from the beginning. Bear with me, you guys. I'm not great with live stream. This is why I'm not a Twitch streamer. Literally, why I'm not a Twitch streamer.
Maybe one day after you get the hang of it.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go through the. You know what? We'll go through the couples and then we get to the fashion. We'll get to the fashion because that's what I have first. The order that they end up coming up in is. How we'll just talk about them and then we'll come back around to fashion. That's how we'll do that. That way we'll just make the conversation match the pictures. This is the whole cast with the exception of Ed and Liz are over on the left and they got cut off in this picture. I just went to Google. I didn't take these screenshots myself. So it's whatever I could find on Google. And who do you want to start with?
Let's start with Bilal and Shahida.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
So she typically has, really good fashion and she always just looks really put together. But this dress is just so weirdly like sunny and I don't know, just something put me off about it. But I like, her shirt and, her cover up and everything else like that. But that dress was just weird to me, especially for all the things that she typically wears, not on the tell-all. So it was interesting.
I actually feel I'm the opposite. I actually felt like her dress was the prettiest dress. The one thing I would change is I probably would have went with yellow as the base color for the shirt and for the hijab. I think that would have set it off more than the blue.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yellow would have been probably better.
Mm-hmm. But I did like the dress itself. But I kind of like how she takes, I guess what we would consider Western clothes, and she makes it work for her Muslim clothing. I do like how she does that. I also, did you notice that Yara is wearing the colors of the Ukrainian flag?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the blue and yellow.
I did notice that. Mm-hmm.
And, Sean always looks great. But back to Bilal and Shida, and he got off so easy. He got off so easy by virtue of Ed being there and being so grossly gross as Ed is.
And Ed being like such a guy who just was infatuated with Bilal. Like, okay, stop praising this man because he's just almost as bad as you, It's
just two different types of toxic behavior. One is overt. That's Ed. Ed is overtly toxic, and Bilal is covertly toxic. Mm-hmm. He's the type of person that will pick at you until you explode and then go, well, I don't understand why you're so mad. Why are you blowing up on me? Because you know that you did little things all week to pick and pick and pick. And the way he talks to her, I don't understand how she allows him to talk to her as if she is a child, not just a child with a mental delay. Like, why are you talking to her this way? And she just accepts it. It's really, really.
Yeah, my view of Shaida kind of shifted a little bit with this tell all because, I did feel that way about her and I still do.
Mm-hmm.
But after the tell all, it was just kind of like, well, she almost not, I hate to like victim blame or whatever, but she
Mm-hmm.
just kind of asks for it because she could walk away at any moment. She's not being overtly abused or anything like
Mm-hmm.
that. She is there for the money and the opportunity partly, and that's fine because a lot of times a marriage, it is technically a contract, but it's also sometimes considered in a marriage as such, and they're like, okay, as
Mm-hmm.
whatever partner, I'm going to provide this money and you provide me with this, and that's completely fine. But she kind of tiptoes around that and doesn't necessarily say it and isn't honest about it, and he's not honest either. So they're both, I feel like, working each other, trying to get one over on each other in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's just my view of her. And I still am on her side. I still want her to prosper and do well and come here and do what she wants to do. But I almost just don't even feel bad for her anymore at the
I
same time.
I'm definitely on the same page with you with that because she really does. It's like I would feel more bad for her if she was in her early 20s. I would feel like, oh, okay, she's being manipulated. She doesn't know. But at nearly 40 years old, you're
Mm-hmm.
you're choosing to put up with this for whatever
Yeah.
reason, which I do think that is monetarily driven. But I think the reason why some people don't view her as a gold digger is that she's so bad at gold digging. She's terrible at it. Like, if you're gonna be a gold digger, you still don't even know whether he has any gold. Like when she literally said
Or
she has
how
no
much?
idea how much money he makes, that means that she doesn't know whether that house is bought and paid for. She doesn't know whether that house is behind on the mortgage payments, if it's in
Yeah.
uh, foreclosure. She has no idea what's going on, and that's so scary because you could really end up in a bad situation by not knowing what is going on financially.
Yep. So true. Yeah, and the baby thing was weird,
Mm-hmm.
him getting down on one knee. I'm just like, give me a break. And she was right. She should put that on hold and get her business going.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she wants to follow in Yara's footsteps and a bunch of other people who have
Mm-hmm.
come and, taken advantage of being on TV and getting that little startup money to start businesses. That's what you should do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they should, it seems like, have enough money to like freeze the sperm and the egg and do it when they're ready. They should just talk about that option too. But they're so traditional too, and it's just, yes, just frustrating watching them. It's just really frustrating.
And the thing with Bilal is he wants to put on like he is this wealthy man, but he doesn't move like a wealthy man would move.
Yeah.
Just by like what you just said about freezing the sperm and egg never even came up as a suggestion in his mind because he doesn't he's there's one thing to be frugal. A lot of wealthy people are frugal. Like if you want to meet wealthy people, go to a thrift store. You're going to meet wealthy people there. But he's
Yep.
not. I think he's fronting. And I said this in one of my early reviews during, I think it was this season, when he went to go visit his sister and he had that fake Louis Vuitton luggage that he was concerned about her breaking the zipper on. And that showed right there because number one, it's fake Louis Vuitton luggage. Number two, if you bought real expensive luggage, it comes with insurance.
It
You're not going
wouldn't.
to worry
Yeah.
about a zipper.
Oh, yeah.
He
Okay.
wants to put on this perception of being this, having all this money and these, I guess, things that show status. Like his Instagram is filled with pictures of his watches, and he'll take a picture of his dashboard, but he'll make sure that there's a Quran, a Louis Vuitton bag, and a Tiffany's box in the passenger seat. And it's like you're putting all these airs, and then you get mad when you attract a woman who expects to live those things that you put on your Instagram.
Yeah.
And then you
Yep.
act like, oh my God, she wants me to buy things. But that's the image that you put forth. That's what she thought you were. So
It's
it's
crazy. It's crazy that some of the people think that that practical joke was okay,
yeah.
to have him take her to the house. Like, I didn't think anybody would be okay with that, and there's just way
Mhm.
too many people who are like, "Why not?" I'm like, "Okay,
And that's the other
what
thing
the hell
that's
up."
glaring. You're supposed to be a real estate investor. That's what he calls himself. Why are you not investing in that property? Why is that property dilapidated? Why is it not fixed up? Why is it not a rental or an Airbnb? Why, if you're not renting it out and you're not selling it, it's a liability. It's not an asset, because every year that you own it, you're paying taxes on it. You're probably going to have to pay for the upkeep of the outside, because otherwise you'll get fined by the city if you let your grass grow and all that kind of stuff. So you have this you're call yourself saying you're going to teach her about money, but you aren't thinking about money, because you literally have something that's not an asset but a deficit. It doesn't make sense. Unless you were, even if you were just sitting on it because you're waiting for the neighborhood to regentrify and the property value to go up, you still could rent it out. Like, it doesn't make sense. Even if you rent it to
Yeah.
another family member, you know? And it didn't even have, like, the sinks didn't have faucets. Like, why are you not, it just, his story's not adding up. Yeah, I just
Yeah,
don't, I don't believe, I think he wants to be a real estate investor, and he probably does have that one house, but one house does not make you an investor. If that's the case, then a
yeah.
lot of people are investors. Everybody got a house is a real estate investor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
he just gives me that he's kind of full of shit, unfortunately. And then
And
the worst. Oh,
yeah,
say it again.
his ex-wife is also full of shit
Oh
too.
yeah, that's his second ex-wife, by
Mhm.
the way. He has a wife before
Oh,
her. I
okay.
yeah. So Shida's wife number 3, and he's still. And oh, I should talk about that too. He also, I don't know whether, I mean, obviously I don't have proof, but he gives me colorist tease, because all his wives are like super, super pale. And I'm like, once, okay, twice is a coincidence, 3 times is a pattern. And it's really, I don't like that, because it shows that you don't really love yourself if you are looking for someone that looks not nothing like you, but if you're constantly looking for something that you consider to be less black, then it gives me pause, because, like, say you do have children, if your children take after you instead of her, are you going to love them as much? Are you going to treat them some type of way, or treat one child better than the other if they come out lighter? Like, that's what my mind goes through when I see guys that are like that. It's
Sure.
I don't know, it's just cautionary. I mean, it could just totally and completely be a coincidence, but it just gives me pause when I see dudes that
Well,
only date
some
one
people
type of
do
woman. Yeah.
have preferences, like some people will only date blondes, they will only date people with curly
Yeah. And
hair,
that's,
they just have that type.
I still think
And
that it
teach
needs to
their
come
own
from,
maybe.
yeah,
Go ahead.
it's got to come from a certain place. Like, for example, if a guy has a type, like, oh, I like girls with thick thighs,
Yeah.
that's not something that's internalized. But when you are brown and you don't like someone that is as brown as you, that kind of gives off internalized. Like, if you were blonde and you never dated blondes, I would still think that was problematic. Like, what is it about yourself that you hate so much? Like, it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, sure.
But oh, speaking of toxic, when his friend and her friend showed up, both of them were problematic. Like that
Yeah.
was like, he just was spouting manosphere talking points, and I was like, I'm gonna call him Mr. Red Pill Manosphere dude, because he was just on that shit, and he was screaming. Like, why are you screaming and so angry? There's nothing to be
Mm.
angry about. And then she was on some bullshit talking about trick him into a baby. That's the worst advice you could ever give anyone.
Like,
They
you should be telling her to run away from him,
Yeah.
not to trap yourself with the freaking baby. What the
Yes.
hell? Ugh, yeah, it was weird. Like, I really wanted to be on that woman's side, but
Mm-hmm.
she just went off the deep end.
Yeah, that was the worst advice. And then how come nobody asked the friend if he was married? He's screaming at her, that's why you're single, that's why you're single. And nobody said, are you single too? Because I bet you he
Mm,
probably is.
mm,
But
mm,
manosphere
mm.
dudes, it only counts when the woman's single. It doesn't count when they're single.
He
But he
doesn't even
was
have a
just,
booty call, I bet.
yeah, he was way too angry for that. And then the way Shida just sat there and let the dude scream at her best friend. Even if my best friend is wrong, let me scream at her. You're not going to scream at her. I don't like that.
Yeah,
I feel like you should have at least enough. Well, then again, Shida doesn't have backbone to stand up for herself. So, of course, she's not going to stand up for
yeah.
her friend. And then the craziest
Mm.
part was when she was trying to advise Liz, and she said, You know, you need to be bold like me. And I was like, where
know.
are you bold? Where are you bold? We
That
have
was
yet to
so
see this
weird and
boldness.
awkward.
Yeah, I'm like, who told you
It
that
was
you were
hard to
bold?
watch.
Oh, I have a couple comments here about the show. Let's see here. Selena says there's no need for a 4-part reunion.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. I mean, I liked the part of them, you know, going to drink and like the quote unquote behind the scenes stuff, but it was dragged out. It was just the same stuff that we'd seen before the tell all. So, especially with Ed and Liz, like I'm just so over. Like we'll get to that, but she's just really got something wrong with her.
Tony Man says, I probably made 4 out of 5 of the women that attended not wear unflattering dresses or not let them be shot from the back. I was not impressed. And Belial, rant number 1. Oh, yeah. See, this would be a Belial hate fest if Ed wasn't there, but Ed is there to let me. This is going to become an Ed bashing show in a while. I'm just letting you know. Tony Man says, I soured on Andre quickly on episode 4. He was annoying. I honestly can't find any redeeming qualities with any of these people. I think Jenny has redeeming qualities. Belial is manipulative. He only wanted a baby because he didn't want her to find out about his money. Yeah, I thought that was a distraction too.
Yeah, sure.
Tony says Belial needs to go back in his basket under the bed and stop being angry with humans. Did you catch that reference? Have you ever seen Basket Case?
No, I've not.
Oh, you got to check it out. It's from 1980 or 1981, and it's about this guy who has a
his head, right? The head in the basket.
Yeah, that's his Siamese twin, or not Siamese, sorry, conjoined twin, that was removed, and the twin's name was Belial.
Oh, it was.
Yes.
That is too funny. Poor Belial. That's what he gets.
I actually have, let me do like this. I actually have a clip. Let me get to, I just clicked the wrong thing. I meant to click this way. I suck at this so bad. I'll get better eventually. If I do it enough, I will get good at this. And also if I get a more powerful computer, because I'm working with a Chromebook right now, because I had a MacBook Pro, but it died. And the Mac behind me, I use that for editing, but it's also 10 years old. So there's only that's why I don't stream on it. It's just not fast enough for me to stream on.
Yeah.
Here it is. This is the scene of Belial trying to distract Shida, which works because, and it's sad because he said that she's not smart, and I didn't want to agree with him. But the way she's acting, she acts like she's not smart.
Like a little bird.
I want to ask you.
Oh my God.
What? Would you have my baby? Would you want to go half on a baby?
That old 1990s phrase.
Oh, how cute.
I know.
That is so cute.
So corny.
Oh my God. Oh, if you think I'm cute, you should see my mommy. Oh my God.
Is that a yes?
Yeah, I could see where I could get that dress and rock it differently. I like it. Just, I would rock it differently though. But it's a pretty dress.
I feel like it wouldn't give me good shape or something if I were to wear it. And I'm just not a huge ruffle person, but I do like ruffles at the same time.
I think, I'm going to just pause it. I think the reason why I like ruffles is because I'm not super shapely. I'm kind of more straight up and down than not. And the ruffles give the illusion that I might have an ass. I don't.
There you go. See,
it's familial. But at least I do have, well, I shouldn't say I don't have an ass. I have a small ass. There are women in my family who have extended backs, like their back just goes straight down into their legs. So I lucked out that I at least have something back there, but it's not much. And ruffles make it seem like I have more hips and ass, and I like that.
There you go.
But if you have a more shapely body, then probably body contour dresses probably look better on you. Let's see, do we have more comments? So he says, I had a Mac just like that one year over your shoulder, and I streamed Hulu Live on it, and it never had it. Well, I can watch streaming stuff on it, but if I was trying to stream and introduce like what I just played, the film there, it will freeze a little bit, or it'll have a little bit of a lag. And like, it's 2023. I don't think people will watch me if I have too much of a lag. Are we done with Bilal and Shida? Should we move on to let's do the ones that are a little bit, there's less to say about them first. And I'm going to say Jovi and Yara, because their story was probably the least involving out of everybody.
Yeah.
Let me see if I get them up here. I don't think I have. I thought I had a picture of them side by side, but am I tripping? I'm just going to go to the cast picture and we will zoom in. There. We'll do just like that. That'll be good enough. Oh. Okay. Now, we already said about, how everybody look. It's Jovi wearing black socks. Jovi. Why did you do that?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that before.
Like, pattern on his shoe too. What is that?
Yeah. No, you should have worn like
together.
You should have worn like a tan loafer, and probably like skin tone socks, just tan. I mean, it's a summer suit, either tan shoes or brown shoes. I think black shoes would be too stark a contrast. Or if he really wanted to live it up, he could have went with a blue shoe to color Yara's dress. If he really wanted to be
blue shoes, no socks.
Yeah, blue shoes, no socks. Yeah. But these two, their whole storyline is just, Yara wants his mother to babysit more, and this trip, which everyone kept on blaming Jovi, but honestly, he already had the trip planned, and it's an international trip. That's not something you can just cancel and reschedule without losing money on. And she had an elective surgery. She did not have her, she didn't have her appendix out. She had a breast augmentation. She could have scheduled that anytime. There was no rush to have that done.
Yeah,
if she needed to wait.
Angela was trying to say, oh, well, you can't reschedule whatever date the doctor says. That's when you got to go. But that's just to say that, to get it done as soon as you can. And yeah, you can tell the doctor, no, I guess if it's going to be a year from that date, then I guess I have to wait a year. But I guess to her, that might have been too long. But I feel like it wouldn't have been that much of a big deal to tell the doctor those dates don't work. And, I hate to take Jovi's side on this because I really, really don't like him. But, she had 10 days of recovery with him, and they had his mother's help. So, yeah, it's stupid to even talk about.
I also felt bad for Jovi. I also felt bad for Jovi because more than one person called him ugly. And I'm like, Ed is right there. Ed is right there.
Oh my God.
I don't think Jovi's ugly. He's not like gorgeous. He's just average. He's, guy next door, average. I wouldn't notice him if he passed me in the store.
Well,
Ed
the
is
thing
ugly.
about him is like he carries himself like he's so hot. And it's fine to have the confidence if you're not hot, but like the whole strip club thing and just walking all over your wife thing, it just gets annoying and it makes you uglier. And so I think they're just feeding on that. And of course, Ed is much uglier than that because I think Jovi has way more respect for people in general than Ed does. But it's like he's young and he's just immature, and it's like we want to like bash him and like change him, but with Ed, he's just kind of like a lost cause, and he's
about to be 60 years old. There's nothing, I doubt there's anything that's going to change him. And Jovi's main thing that bothers me about him is he is too young-minded. This is a man in his 30s, but he acts like he's in his early 20s. And you're now a parent now also. Like And also, you grew up in New Orleans. I don't understand why he's so concerned with strip. If you grew up in New Orleans, you see titties all the time. You could walk down Bourbon Street, somebody showing their titties. I don't
That's
understand
probably
why you would pay to go to a strip club when you can see them all the time. You should be like how some of these Brazilian dudes are, where they don't even see them anymore because they see it at Carnival every year, so they don't even notice if somebody's titties are out. Like, that's how you should be. I don't know why you're fascinated, Jovi.
It's too much. It's too much.
Tony Man says Jovi needs a set of balls. I wouldn't let Andre punk me out. I'd be like, worry about your brother-in-law and his meth head OnlyFans foot model and not my marriage. That is true. His wife is a OnlyFans foot model. I don't know anything about. I do know he does have narcotics charges. Don't know what specific narcotics. That's the other. We'll come back to that though. Let me not get off on a tangent. Selena says I don't like Jovi either. LOL. Yeah, I don't think anybody likes
funny.
Jovi.
The foot thing, you said you didn't see that part in the show with
oh no, I saw the
Oh,
foot
okay.
part. I was saying I don't know what drugs that he's on, but I did see that he had mugshots for possession of narcotics, but they don't specify what narcotics. And I was gonna wait till I have a image of him and that sister that came on with that ill-fitting dress. The outfit is cute, but she got it in the wrong size. She should have sized up and then went to a tailor, because probably the next size up, the top was probably too big for her, but this size, the top was too small. So if you're in between, you got to go to a tailor and just have them,
and it's cheap.
Yeah, it is. I wish people would know that. I think people think that tailoring is super expensive, but I don't think it is. Anything else? Oh, Jovi's mother did come to speak, and I do like when she was the only person that was able to shut Ed up. She's the only one who kept on giving his 2 cents on everything, as if he's not in one of the worst, if not the worst, relationship of this season. It's yeah, he's just ugh. All right, who's next? I'm just gonna go by the pictures. If I scroll over, who's next? Oh, that's Angela. Well, I want to save Angela for later. Yeah, we'll go ahead and talk about them then. You see how this top is like, this is not fitting right, and it's digging into her shoulders. It's too small. If she, you know what, she could have sized up and then put a cup on the inside. Nobody would have known that there was a cup in there to fill out if it was too big. That's another cheap fix. If you don't want to pay for tailoring to change the whole size of it, you can install the foam breast cups in the shirt, or not shirt, but it's not a dress either. I guess it's a pants and top suit jumper
kind of
type of thing. Yeah.
But yeah, she does look restricted and like not comfortable.
Mm-hmm. And also, like, she thought she was going to a Real Housewives reunion. Like, wrong show.
Yeah.
And Charlie's got a short sleeve shirt on underneath his sports jacket, which is a no-no. You're supposed to show the sleeves, the cuff sleeves of your shirt underneath your blazer there, and he's got jeans on, but he's just a mess. And his face is all red. And that's what I was going to say bothered me. They kept on referring to him as an alcoholic and ignoring the drug addiction part. He has multiple charges for possession, not even possession with intent to sell, possessions, which means he was the customer, not the salesperson. And no one's bringing it up. They're just saying he's an alcoholic. No, dude is literally
they might not
on
be able
other
to talk
stuff.
about
pending cases.
Stuff. Yeah.
And quiet as it's kept, she has a mugshot too. All of Liz's brothers and sisters have mugshots.
Yo,
Hers is for
going after fucking Andre. You know, that was crazy. I was like, wow, this whole family is just violent, and they're all blaming him, even though like before the show even started, this family had issues. Now they just have a target to put it all on. So that was crazy.
Elizabeth I don't think she knows how she's instrumental in it, because what she does is, because I noticed that she says that her family never listened to her. And part of that is because she's the youngest, and sometimes older siblings will be like, oh, you're the youngest, we don't have to care what you think. But what she does, I think, is that she uses her husband as a sounding board. She tells him all the things that bother her. And then in his way of trying to defend her, he spits it back out at them, and they think, oh, he's just coming at us, not knowing that she's feeding him the things to say to you.
Yeah.
She probably doesn't want him to say it the way he says it, but she's definitely putting the battery in his back, and it's her way of kind of getting back at you guys for not listening to her on a subconscious level. I don't think she consciously does it. I think she doesn't understand why there's so much drama or how she is instrumental in it. I don't think she knows that she's doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, instigating.
And then on the other side, she tells you guys all the negative things about him and not the positive things. And that makes it even worse, because on the one hand, she wants to be able to confide in her sisters when she's having trouble, but she doesn't want you guys to take her confiding things in you as, oh, my husband is terrible, bash him at every turn, when she's really just saying he made me upset today because of X, Y, and Z. That I've lived through that family dynamic, and I've learned not to complain to your family about your significant other too much, because if you complain too much, they'll only see the bad and they won't see the positive. And if you find yourself complaining that much to your family about your significant other, then it's probably a good idea to go to counseling with your significant other so that you can communicate to them what it is that they're doing that's bothering you. It's better to communicate with them than with anybody else. And if that doesn't work, then sometimes things just don't work. but at least you tried.
Gotta try at least. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Tony Man says the editing killed me. Being a TV editor back in the day, one scene Ed's chick didn't have the ring on after he said to give it back, and in other scenes she was wearing it. Oh, they probably did edit some stuff out of sequence.
With like reactions and stuff. I hate when they do that with these shows, because they're reacting to something that's not even happening yet, or vice versa. And it's just irritating.
Yep. Let me see who else. We'll move on from them. I did have a picture of Elizabeth and Andre. All they really did was her singing. If I have to hear her sing "Mary Had a Little Lamb" one more damn time, why did she sing something else?
I know. Come on.
And I don't think that she's a bad singer. She's got like a country music style voice. I don't know whether she doesn't like country music, but I feel like her voice would be really suited for country music.
Yeah.
But just sing something other than "Mary Had a Little Lamb." And I didn't like how when she was showing her the room in the house that she's going to build, or Andre was going to help her build a studio, and her sisters kind of shit all over it. And I didn't like that. Like, try to be encouraging.
Yeah. Yeah. And actually, to Tony's point earlier with Andre and Jovi at the bar, I feel like Andre was really trying to just be cool and cordial with Jovi, but Jovi was just like this scared cat in a corner and just started spewing stuff. And then Andre had like real substantial things to say that I think were more than what Jovi was saying, because Jovi was just saying things out of turn that didn't even make sense to the conversation at times. And he was just trying to throw whatever he could out there to see what would stick. And I just thought that was hilarious. And yeah, I did see Andre in a better light, especially when he hugged Elizabeth's sister. I saw growth in him, in the tell-all. So I appreciated that. But I think when he gets older, he'll be less of a hothead. He'll be more like his father, hopefully, because he really does love his wife, and they have a really good relationship.
Yeah, I was thinking he must get that from his mother, because his father is so sweet and calm, and like it's polar opposite. So he must get that from his mother. Selena asks, do you think the siblings reported Andre? I think Elizabeth's brother's wife had report Andre.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, no, you go first.
I wanted to think it, but then I was like, probably not. But I feel like Charlie wants them to believe that he did, or that he could do it if he wanted to at any moment. But I don't think they would go that far, because again, like Elizabeth said, I don't think they would even know the first person to contact to do that, because they're such fucking idiots.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I don't think they're smart enough. I think they would want to. I don't think they're smart enough. I think only the oldest sister is probably smart enough. Charlie's definitely not smart enough to think of something like that. I'm sorry. He probably wishes it was his idea. I don't think he's smart enough. I do have a clip of Andre and Jovi talking.
Why you keep talking about me going to the strip club? Like, all right, you want to talk about me? Like, we can talk about you too. Like,
About what?
I don't know.
Like,
You're using Libby's family, manipulating the whole family, turning everybody against each other. You're
just
trying to pick a fight with everybody in the family.
word
What?
vomit.
I did pick up a fight?
Yeah, it seems like it.
With whom?
First it was Charlie, then it was the sisters, now it's the mom.
What are you telling me? Like, but I'm the one that does this stuff.
No, I'm just
I
telling you, like,
defended
you have
myself.
flaws too, not just me. You bringing this up, but you do the same thing. You don't think you played the biggest part in breaking up Libby's family.
I didn't break over there. They just got reality hit, like, and they just broke apart. This was coming to them. I didn't
He's staying
do
so
anything
cool,
wrong.
calm, and collected.
I brought up to him, like, hey, like, there's a lot of going on in your family. Maybe you're wrong. He didn't want to hear that.
He always
thinking he was right.
paraphrases
So you know what that makes me
incorrectly.
think? Here's the
Always.
problem. He's in denial right now.
You're telling me like I break families apart. Like, but look at your neck. Like, your wife broke your family apart. Because it seems like she wants to do your thing. You're asking for it.
He's like, all right,
You know,
I'll
when
come at you
Libby
then.
decides that you're breaking up her whole family, you're going to be in the same situation. So eventually she's going to understand that you're the problem. He said a lot of rude things to me.
Andre's
tonight,
looking like, I just wanted to have a drink.
I know, he did
It's gonna be
though.
like,
He really
we're gonna meet his
did.
friends tonight. We're gonna hang out, have a few drinks, like have fun. Now I feel like he's my biggest enemy.
Jovi's a thumb sucker. I can tell by his teeth that he sucked his thumb for extended amount of time in childhood.
Mhm.
I don't.
No judgment, just observation.
Sounds like it. You're trying to tell me like I'm doing everything
I'm
wrong.
not your therapist. Like, I just came here and like
Sounds like you're trying to be. You started off like talking.
And the way I don't understand how Andre curses. It's like he uses the curse words to punctuate his sentences, but they're in the wrong place. And I know English is not his first language, but it's like, how are you using this curse? It seems out of place. It seems like you're putting the fucks in the wrong places. Well, okay, go off though.
Talking to me about like Yara's wrong, and in the end you want to play back everything to me, going to the strip club and all the bull, like making me sound like the bad guy over here.
You have a problem with me telling you the truth. Like, that's what I think.
Yeah. This is a mistake. I'm just gonna roll out.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. You don't like reality too now. I think Jovi got pissed off tonight and he stormed out of a bar because he got confronted with reality. I think Jovi is a typical American. They fight or they scream or they storm off. They don't do anything else. I have some stuff to say, and I'm going to tell Yara, Jovi is a party boy, and he is definitely not Yara's league, that's for sure.
Oh, we're going to come back to Yara's league. We're going to come back to that
But then
when we
he
get
turns
to...
around and calls her a freaking gold digger. Like, okay, which is it? I mean, I guess, yeah, a gold digger can be in a league that's not in your league or whatever, but it's just weird. It's just not a compliment either way.
Should we get into, let's see, what was this one? Oh, Jenny and Submit. I forgot about them. I'm just gonna play the clip because there isn't much. The clip of Submit's family is the highlight, so we'll just play that.
Anil, do you say that I am accepting of you, Jenny, as my daughter-in-law, and I'm happy that you are a part of our family? Do you say that?
Shout out to Homegirl's outfit. That's beautiful. The sari that she has on.
This is my family. It hurts me. I don't have the blessing. That is the reason I keep on trying. You're never gonna give up on that.
Uncomfortable silence.
Yeah.
Sumit and Jenny have blessings from me.
But my wife's gonna kick my ass when I get home. That is nice,
awesome.
though.
What has changed for you?
They have already married each other. What can we do? This is
what we've been saying.
You have to accept.
You have to.
Yeah. I mean, what are you gonna do? And I mean, he's in his 30s, she's in her 60s. Like he's probably he might be closer to 40 now than 30. Just let him alone. I just wish he would stop trying to be so much of a people pleaser, because he said multiple times before that he doesn't want children. That's why it didn't bother him marrying Jenny. But now he's saying he'll have children if it'll make his parents happy. And it's like, you got to, Submit, you are really stuck on, I got to do everything for my parents. And it's really, really weird. I get it culturally, but I think you take it to a whole nother level.
Over it.
Oh, Tony Man says, thanks, Rainbow Fright, for your explanation. I appreciate it. And the reason why I'm moving a little bit faster now, because I just noticed the time, so I'm trying to like move and progress. The Angela and Michael thing really bugged me out because everybody jumped on Angela's side like she hasn't been abusing this man for 4 years. Physically and emotionally and verbally. She smashed a cake in his face. She's torn up his car. I noticed that they did not replay the scene of her tearing up the car. I wonder why they left that out, because that's pretty drastic.
They just want to use her up, and they just make her the superstar of the show. She's a vile person. She's just a terrible human being, but the show keeps her for the ratings. And so because she's been there the longest of anybody there, they treat her, you know, as such. And I'm sure she's gotten clauses in there where they're like, don't show this and don't do that, maybe, you know, it's for her specifically. And it's disgusting. And at this point, with Shahida, I don't feel bad for Michael. Like at first I kind of did for the first couple of years, but this past year or two, I've just kind of been like, well, he's putting up with it. He wants it. Maybe the love is real, probably not. But either way, they deserve each other too.
Exactly. He's a grown man. He doesn't have to take this abuse if he doesn't want to take this abuse. Let's see here. Tony Man says, isn't that dude with the mom who always wanted to commit hori-kari every time he mentioned his wife? Yes, she did. She did say that she was going to unalive herself. Submit's mother said that if he ever got married to Jenny, she would unalive her. She was so dramatic, so overly dramatic. Like, just
come on, lady.
Selena says, I do not want to see Angela on TV again. I don't think anyone does. The only way I could say that Angela would be interesting is if they did a show with her raising her grandbabies, because I do think she really, really loves those kids to death, and she does like seem to do a really good job with them, especially there being like 5 kids in the house. That would be a more interesting show to me than her acting out, because I know she's putting on for the cameras at this point, and she's been doing it for years, because she's come from a background of being on Maury Povich twice, and I think she was on something else before that too, so she knows how this TV thing works. She just got to find a different way of being engaging that's not so damaging. Like, it's terrible to look at. And I'm gonna ride into talking about Kambali and Usman, so that we can lead up to Usman meeting Michael. Kambali is another one that is just the level of pathetic is so. Kimberly, I feel so bad for her. I feel this is a woman who was in our armed forces, so I know there's got to be a toughness in there. You were in the military. How did you become so weak for this man? She bought him the PS5 and the MacBook Pro.
And it made me wonder if she gave him the money for him to buy that for her son, the PS5.
Yeah.
You know?
I wonder if he regifted the same PS5 to her son. I wondered the day I saw that. And the streets are saying that her son is a fuck boy. That's what the people are saying.
I'm waiting to see him go on stage with Tim's ex-wife, and you know, because we're all like, everybody's like, yeah, we loved him on 90 Day, but it turns out that like on that tell-all he was shitty, but I haven't been able to see that yet, and that's unfortunate. It just makes him look really gross throughout all the episodes that he's been on. So
that was unfortunate. Okay, Tony Man says, I remember telling people watching episode 1 of this tell-all that Michael and Soulja Boy were in the same studio, and remember being told they weren't, and it looked like I was right. Yeah, they were in the same hotel.
It looks so similar, the setup and everything.
Selena says, I'm surprised Angela didn't lose her voice, all that yelling. I think she's been doing this for so long. That is her voice.
She kind of did lose her voice toward the end. Like, you could barely understand her in that 4th episode. It was like, oh, you know, it was.
I
pretty
just
much
remembered the
don't.
other thing they didn't bring up. Her TikTok boyfriend, the Canadian stripper from the 80s. They didn't. They
He was like, "Don't
completely.
include me." He
Mhm.
said that too. I'm sure he was like, "Nah, I'm good."
But they should have still brought it up while she was sitting there crying about Michael cheating on her. Meanwhile, you were planning a whole trip to Canada. That's cheating, in my opinion, too. That's emotional cheating.
Yeah.
But it led up to us finally seeing Usman and Michael, and this scene is unintentionally funny.
Where's Usman? I'm here. Oh. Guy, why you do like that now? How I did you up now? Why you go come tell me something where you know the truth? Like say wait if. Why can't you have your own social
now,
media?
let me talk. From day one, my woman, my woman is very jealous when it comes to women around me. So that's why she asked me to take down my Instagram.
She don't want you to be around me because she feel like I'm a bad influence to you. Hold on. Hold on. Because she knows that I'm smarter than you. She knows that. And she feel like I can.
Did he say smarter?
Yes, and Michael just let him.
I fight for him because he feed me.
Because I thought that's what he said, and I'm like, I heard that wrong.
On social media, I was feeling bad, not knowing that what he told
I'm
me.
gonna roll it back again. We can hear it again.
Because she feel like I'm a bad influence to you. Hold on. Because she knows that I'm smarter than you. She knows that. It is clear. And she feel like I can draw you into a game that maybe will up. I fight for him because he feed me with wrong information. He said that she denied him to be on social media. I was feeling bad, not knowing that what he told me was not real, because she told me what really happened yesterday. And I understand the reason why she can't allow him to be on social media, because he's a child. He cannot control himself. My problem
This is the pot calling the kettle black, like you didn't just have Zara.
That happens.
It's so
if she
weird.
You, fine. If you guys have problem and solve it, fine. Each and every relationship, you always have ups and downs.
Angela is very, very loyal to the core. Most of my faults, she covers up for me.
Except for when she's dancing on TikTok with a Canadian stripper from the 80s.
I have to know about it.
Yeah.
So you understand? The whole
And
issue of
flirting outside the studio today.
She flirted with the bartender.
The voice note, it was great. But let's leave that aside now. What I want you to do for me, please. You know, this woman, she's my wife.
Michael, look him in the eye. You're looking at the ground. That's why he's not going to respect what you're saying.
I want you to please stop it. I don't like the way you conversate with her, exchanging words with her. You are a man. You know she's a woman. Whatever, let them talk whatever they want to say. At the end of the day, they will keep quiet. But please, listen now,
that's
bro.
the problem.
Wait.
Whatever she want to say to me, cannot go free.
Just please and please, let her be.
Wait, hold on now. Let me get it clear now.
Yes, now.
If she said anything, like she just let it go.
What do you want to
okay, hear me now.
Just let it go.
Hear me.
Okay.
A capital no. Listen.
Don't do that.
I'm going to save that in my phone.
Don't do that.
You asking me something, you would have allowed me to talk to you now. I have no problem with both you and her. I have never had problem with Angela except if she come for me. Like the first time she said I'm the reason why her husband did not get visa. I will respect you for what you have, but whoever is attacking me, I will attack him back. I would rather die in the process.
Just say he would rather die. Now I would pay to see a road trip show with the two of them. Just put them in a car or RV and send them on missions and throughout like different parts of Nigeria. I would watch that. That would be entertaining.
See how many women they can collect along the way and see who can get the most women.
But I'm gonna save that just that one clip of Usman saying a capital no. Put that in my phone. And whenever someone comes at me on Twitter or Instagram, I'm sending that to them. A capital no.
Oh, that was too good.
Tony says Angela gargles razor blades and cigarettes and washes it down with a gas and Jack cocktail. That's why she sounds like that. The whole scene seemed like it should have been in Coming to America. Well, that's because that's your frame of reference of seeing Africans. Although a lot of people's new frame of reference is Black Panther and Wakanda Forever, but like I don't have the same frame of reference because fortunately the different colleges that I went to both had African students. So I got to meet people from South Africa, Malawi, and Zimbabwe and Nigeria. Super, super cool people. And all different types of accents and things. So it was really cool. Who is next? Oh, one more comment. Tony Man says, it drove me crazy that they just didn't speak Nigerian to each other and translate it. However, that may have been a blessing and the translators have a field day. Well, they don't come from the same tribe because earlier in the show, Usman made a comment about Michael being Hausa or not being Hausa. Because I know one of them is Hausa and one of them is Igbo, so they might not speak the same language. It's like if the way I would compare it is like if you expected a Brazilian person to speak to a Puerto Rican. They might be able to understand some things, but one speaks Portuguese and the other one speaks Spanish. So even though they're both in Latin America. Okay, let's go. What's next? Because I want to get to the fashion and this part with Yara talking to why am I drawing a blank? Shida. I don't know why my brain could not like get her name out. Was interesting. I'll just play a small clip of it because I do think this was a good interaction for Shida to have, because what Yara should have said is, Shida, you need to be bold like me, because that's who's bold. You're not bold. And everybody attacked Yara for her idea of having the apartment in her daughter's name because of what happened to her mother. I'm not mad at her for that. I think that's a good idea, not even just because, oh, what if you get divorced, but what if you lose your spouse? And 9 times out of 10, that does happen, especially with women. Most of us will outlive our husbands. And I saw just within my own neighborhood, well, I should not say my neighborhood, but my grandparents' neighborhood, but I still refer to as my neighborhood. A few women, when their husbands passed away, because everything was in their name, they had a fight between their having the property and their husband's family having the property. Because in some states it's automatic. Like I think in Connecticut, where I grew up, it's automatic that like if your spouse passes away, the whatever property they have becomes yours. But in Florida, I guess the family can contest, like their brothers, sisters, their parents can contest you having their property. And that kind of put my neighbor in a spot. Fortunately, she made good money and she always saved her money. So she was able to buy another house and just, let his family take the house and move on. But it's still, I think it's a good idea for women to have some things that are just theirs in the event of an untimely spousal death, in the event that their spouse has a catastrophic accident, like just a plan B, just just something. Because I mean, even I can even relate it to my own experience. There was a time where my husband at the time had he was playing basketball and he tore his Achilles tendon. And he was on crutches for I don't know how many months. But fortunately, I was working, so we didn't really go through any hardship. Whereas if I had not been working and we were only having his income and he had that happen to him and had to go through surgery and stay home, like that would have really fucked us up. Just for lack of a better term, that would have fucked us up. So yeah, I think it's good. And she's in such a great position, like because he built her the in-house studio. All she has to do is stream her yoga classes. People would pay and just make it a reasonable fee. And not only is online great because you can have people coming to your classes internationally and make a good amount of money and just put it to the side. So if anything comes up with your husband, you have it there. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't know what I think. Belial has a skewed sense of what masculinity is, and that's why he feels threatened by her having anything of her own. Because that's what it is. Like, what type of dude doesn't want? Let me ask the chat. We have men in the chat. I think we have a man in the chat. Do you feel some type of way if your wife was making more money than you? I'll wait for that. Well, I'll play the clip while we're waiting for that answer. Because I think a lot of dudes that are more modern don't care. It's more about how she interacts with him and how their emotional relationship is.
When I came to America, I had to close down everything and start from scratch. Yeah. So now it's like, I have to ask Bilal for everything that I want until I get my business up and running. Okay, that's it. I'll say the ugly word. That's up. You're younger than me. Imagine if you're my age and having to ask your husband for everything because he leave me totally out of his finances. Oh, that's crazy. I don't know how much money he makes. recently that was like, Bilal, you know what? I think we should have a joint bank account. You know, we are married. We want to go in business together. And he was like, hold up. No. So.
Wait, you asked him to have a joint bank account and he was the...
I just thought of another reason why it's good for two people to share the information about finances. Sometimes your spouse might notice something you didn't notice. Like I can remember one time my ex noticing, oh, you didn't notice here you got charged twice for something. That was very helpful to me. so like I just don't get it unless he's trying to hide.
He's
like
just
you could
shading.
Yeah, because
So shady.
you can keep your account separate but still share your information as far as like what's going on, you know? Because I see nothing wrong with that either, whatever works best for the couple. But it's important to share information because two heads are better than one usually.
Was not thinking that's a good idea.
No, he was like, why? I always said I want to have a joint bank.
That's your family now. You should have a joint bank account. This is pissing me off right now. You know why? Because you're sharing the bed together.
Yeah.
And like what? He doesn't trust you with his bank account? That's really crazy to me, you know?
Girl, I'm working on it. I'm definitely working on it. We'll see.
That's a big thing to hide, you know? Like when you hide in your bank account, you basically hide anything.
Now you have me thinking like he could be doing anything.
He can.
With his money, like, because I don't have any access to it.
He could be a secret gambler. What if he gambles online? You'd never know.
Girlfriend that he buy her flight tickets to go somewhere and she will never know because she can't even check the bank account. Like that's a big trust issue. What is your point? Why you are hiding? She don't need to like sit at home and let her husband to control her and all of her finances. She need to be in control.
So if he's not sharing much information when it comes to his finances, I wonder what secrets does he have?
That's not normal.
I'm realizing that I need to stand my ground and start speaking up for myself. So
the other
and then
thing
she's like, Liz, be like me. So
exactly. And then the thing with dudes like Bilal that want this old-fashioned relationship, they never want to do the old-fashioned thing because my grandparents had that type of old-fashioned relationship where my grandfather paid for everything, and he's not doing that. I mean, everything. He paid the mortgage, paid for my grandmother's car, paid for her clothes. She had a job. She worked as a nurse, and she just put her money in the bank. And she would use her money to go on vacations. If she wanted to redecorate the house, she'd do that. But he paid for everything because during that time period that he grew up, which was the 1940s, that's what was expected of men. So that's what he did. But these dudes are not doing that. She shouldn't have to ask for the things that she needs every month. He should be giving her. If he was the old-fashioned guy that's doing everything and she wants the traditional, those old-fashioned guys would give their wives, I don't want to call it an allowance or a stipend, whatever you want to call it. They would give their wives, this is your money for the month to do what you're going to do, and the bills are paid. He's not doing that. She doesn't even have proof that he's paying the bills on time. His credit could be whack as fuck. We don't know.
That even has a job.
Yeah. He could be living in a house that he's supposed to be selling, that he's in charge of selling. That's stuff that you gotta find out, because you could then find out yourself in a criminal situation if you don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
And in the court of law, if Judge Judy is to believe, ignorance is not a defense. I don't know. I didn't go to law school, but I saw a lot of episodes of Judge Judy, and she always says that ignorance is not a defense, that you could still get brought up on charges even if you didn't know that you were breaking the law. But yeah, I hope that they continue to have a friendship, because I think Yara will rub off on Shida in a positive way. But Lyle's not going to like it. But I don't care what he likes. He needs to go to counseling and figure out why he ties his manhood to this fake status that he wants to put on.
I honestly hope that, sure, that they can, be together and whatever and be happy, but I think they would both just be better apart.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I feel like she really could do better. Like, everyone's talking about how Yara could do better than Jovi. No, Shida could do better than Bilal. Like, that's no contest.
Yara's pretty mean though. Like, even though I kind of like her now, like in the beginning, she's just a total bitch. So she got what she deserved in the beginning of that relationship.
Yeah,
like, as far as who the guy is, because she knew who he was.
And some of the things that she said, like when she said that America was disgusting because he took her to Bourbon Street, which is a tourist area where people get drunk and vomit all over the place. And he should have, Number one, she shouldn't judge a whole country, especially a country as big as United States. Like you could fit Ukraine inside of Texas, and you're talking about how the whole of United States is disgusting because you went down one street in New Orleans. Like that was pretty limited thinking on her part.
Yeah.
And that's why she keeps saying she want to go back to Europe, because she's only seeing just New Orleans, and then they moved more further out into the country of Louisiana. That's not the whole of the United States. There's so much here. We have every climate. You want tropical, we have that. You want mountains, we have that. You want desert, we have that. We got island, we have that. Metropolitan, we have. You want to live in the woods, we got that too. We have so much here that it would take you a long time to see all of America. Okay, let's get into the part where I'm about to go ham and bash this. Well, I'm not gonna go ham. Let me not overplay it.
You're gonna go ham.
I'm gonna pull back. But this piece of trash right here.
And always asking me for FaceTime. You want to
but check out Rose's glow up. Beautiful.
Her social media is awesome. She's got a whole YouTube channel. It's doing great. Six figures and stuff.
So Ed said
oh, nice.
Hasn't spoken
now that's what. Hold on, let me pause it one more time. If Shida don't have her own yoga YouTube channel within the next 3 months, I know she's an idiot. I know you got more eyes on you than you probably ever will. And you got the cheat code. You were on television, so when you start that YouTube, you automatically gonna probably have 250,000 within a month. If you don't do that, then you prove this point. You aren't smart, and I hate that for you.
Or if he spoke to you,
I didn't. That's not true. Because he messaged me and I have a screenshot.
Okay, well we have that screenshot.
This is what I wanted to read.
Oh gosh.
That was the wrong draws to wear, Rose. I mean, Liz. She's the thong. I can see the thong through the dress.
I hope all is well. You look amazing.
A hot mess.
She says thanks. He says, I want to come to the Philippines again to see you if you're open.
Wow.
You just said that.
And also, this is why I don't wear bodycon dresses, because that's how I'm built. I'm not trying to highlight that.
Did you say yes or no? Did you or did you not just say, I have not spoken to her?
Me no speak English.
I would have punched you in the face right there.
No, it's not something to joke about, Ed.
It is, because this is her. This is who Liz is.
What do you mean who she? Hold on. I got it. What do you mean this is who she is? You just got caught cheating. What are you talking about? This is how she is. She's always catching me cheating. Like, what the fuck does that mean? That doesn't make any sense.
Always turning it around on her no matter what, especially on camera. He might do it less off camera, but in front of a crowd, he will not be the bad one. And it's sad because this whole thing goes down. And in the last episode of this, the part 4, you just know for a fact that she would have just taken him back and would have been right back in the whole thing. She's like, this is it. But that was really his decision because he left her. And it's just really sad, even though, again, I'm kind of feeling less bad for her too. But she's probably the one that I feel the worst for, who's in like a completely toxic relationship. So yeah, it's just crazy. She will take anything from this man, and it's sad.
I don't understand how, like, she needs a super intensive therapy because her self-esteem is not even, it's subterranean. It's not even on the floor. It's like beneath the floor. Yeah. Because like there's nothing redeeming about this dude other than the fact that he's on television. That's it. You get to be on television with him. And even that is not a good look for you. Like, there's nothing redeeming about it. His mother and his daughter are not talking to him. Neither one of them are talking to him. That should be a huge red flag for you. And then you want to introduce your daughter into the situation because she's a mother, although her ex has custody of her child, which I'm seeing that's probably for the best right now. Because Liz is not living really a stable life with
in
this
the
dude.
real world,
Yeah.
honestly. She's not in the real world.
And it's a shame that she's tying herself down to this so early, because Liz, remember, is only 27. You don't have to tie yourself down with this nonsense at that age. You're still fairly young.
Mm-hmm.
Especially from practically a senior citizen.
Especially since you just made partner with this new company.
Yeah.
You know, that was probably fake. And like, I'm sure the producers pushed that, but I'm sure the deal was real and it went through, and just live that life and find a new man who appreciates that life.
And if you love cooking or into restaurant stuff, like now that people know who you are, you literally could become like a celebrity chef or something. Like you don't need him to be out, to be in the public eye. You just have to develop your own personality and your own thing, and people will follow you just because they saw you on the show.
Yeah.
What about that text?
I've not spoken to her.
See?
You just lied to
Liz.
everybody right here.
Yeah, he's got nothing to say because you don't.
Liz, what are you thinking right now?
Look at this asshole staring at the lights to try to make himself cry. I hate him so much. That's what he's doing. He's staring up at the lights to try to make his eyes tear up so that he seems sincere. Like that's some shit you do in 7th grade when you're outside the principal's office and you don't want to get in too much trouble. So you stare up at the lights to make yourself tear up so that you look like you're sorry. Like not something you do when you're almost 60.
Yeah. She really gets off though on arguing, and I know it's because of her past trauma, so she's used to it. So she likes the feeling she gets when she's right and when she can prove a point, especially when she has a crowd. Because when she's arguing, it's very immature, even though she's making valid points. The way that she's doing it and how she's too comfortable, and it's just unnecessary. Just walk away. There's no reason to even be having this conversation at this point, and it's just sad. So sad.
Yeah, I think about the physicality of it, and I'm like, I would have to be blackout drunk. And every light in the room would have to be off, and he would have to smell super, super good.
And she has to teach him everything?
Yeah. No, not blackout drunk. I'd have to be blackout drunk and high off my ass on something. I don't know what would make you high enough, but I would need something to alter my mind to be able to sleep with that.
I would have to be headless.
Yes. Yes.
No, thank you.
Yeah, it's just I don't even I cannot, and I don't want them. They're gonna put him back on again next season, and also because
you know that they confirmed it. I hope
no, but I saw on Twitter people took pictures of them walking down the street in California holding hands again, so they're already back together.
I told you oh my god, I told you she'll take him back for after anything.
Oh. My apologies to the chat. Let me jump back in there. I meant to read these earlier. Sorry about that. Tony Man says, no, doesn't bother me at all. Share and share like about my question about whether you would care if the woman made more money than you. Electric Notary Stamp says, yes, I saw a bad charge on my husband's and I told him. Yes, see? Control, yep. That's what I think with Bilal, it's control. Tony says, man, these guys noticing these weird charges sound like keepers. Exactly. Notary says, yep. Notary says, no, I'm sure he does it in private also. Someone like that is just that way. Oh.
Probably wouldn't, like I was talking about Ed just being shitty. I mean, yeah, he's definitely shitty behind closed doors, but I feel like he probably, because like he was calling her a performer. Oh, you're performing. And they both are performing, you know?
Yep. Electronic Notary says he's not even attractive. He's disgusting. Yeah, like you could almost understand if it was this fine ass dude who was just giving you the best sex in the world that just blew your fucking mind. Then you might overlook some shit. But that's like a literal, like, I don't know. It looks like a hedgehog or something. It's like, what? I don't understand taking that kind of shit off of a person that is that unattractive and old.
Yeah.
Somebody says Ed's not staring at the lights. He can't look up. He was just leaning back. Selena says, what? They're back together? Yeah, according to Twitter, the picture's on Twitter.
Can't believe it.
Lol.
I mean, I can. It's just annoying.
Exactly. Let me see. Do I have any more footage, or else I'm going to get into the fashion and then go to... Yeah, I think I did all the video stuff. Let's get into a little bit of the fashion. I found this site. It was really interesting. I know we didn't talk about the cut scenes in between where they were at the bar. I didn't think a whole lot interesting happened except for when Angela, Jenny, and Kimberly did try to get Liz to have some self-esteem. And, you know,
They
tried. That's all.
On Twitter.
I found this when I was looking for the images. Let me share the screen.
Why do you keep coming back to me, Liz? Why do you keep coming back? It's like,
yeah, everyone's asking that.
But he said that to her, and it's just like, if a man ever said that to me, he's dead to me. Like, why?
Are you a Virgo?
No.
Oh, because I'm a Virgo. We say that a lot, that you're dead to me. Like, we don't hold grudges. You don't exist to us anymore. We just stop fucking with you, and then that's it. We just don't.
I'm late August, though. Very late August, so.
So that would be... Is it Cancer 7th. Or Leo? Is it Cancer or Leo? Leo. Oh, okay. That's what we get along. My mother's a Leo, and one of my close friends is a Leo, too. So there's a site apparently called Shop Your TV. And they matched up like what the actual outfits were that some of the cast members wore, so you can kind of get a better look at it. I thought this one was kind of pretty. And I do think it would have looked better if Yara had at least put the front of her hair up, because the evening gowns, you want to put your hair back a little bit. So I think that would have been better. Yeah. And then I think they also had Sean on there, which she always looks great. I don't love how the hem is. I would prefer like a instead of this. You could do a graduated hemline if it went all the way around, did this way more and then lower. But this little bit here, I don't really care for. Either make it completely one hemline or do a full graduated hemline where it's high in the front and low in the back. But this right here, it looks like it was irregularly sewn. I don't like that part. But I love the waist, the ruching in the waist, and how this looks, even though Sean could wear anything because she's got that type of physique that she could really pull off a lot of different looks. But I think this could look good on anybody, whether you're plus size or whether you're more slender. And also the color, I would never look at something this color to wear, but it really looks really nice on her. So maybe I should reconsider that. Like, I pass right by stuff that's this color because it doesn't catch my eye. This dress here, that's why I was saying I like the dress itself. What I would probably do is I would probably put a belt with it and espadrille sandals. I would kind of dress it down more. Maybe like a boho type of look with a big sun hat and sunglasses. Yeah, I can see the whole look coming together now. But yeah.
I like the idea with the long sleeves. I'd probably try to do a little long sleeve thing with it too underneath, because I like that, but a tighter one and a more sleek, like smooth looking one that didn't bunch up, you know.
Yeah. I agree. With the guys, I just oh wait, I had one more. Sorry. Liz's dress. This is how it would look, you know, if you have the right foundation garments underneath, because it's the fabric on the dress is very thin, so you really need to. What she should have worn is like the bodycon bodysuit. With a strapless one. Probably had to be a strapless bodycon bodysuit would have looked better. And they have some that the bottom is no show. So even though it's a full panty, because of the way it's made, you don't see seams. Like you wouldn't see panty lines rather. And that would have really, really stepped it up.
Also, she doesn't have any glamour girlfriends. She doesn't watch YouTube channels about fashion. She just kind of does little things here, and which is fine. You don't have to know things about fashion or anything like that, but she kind of like pretends to, you know. It's just like, just come as you are. Don't try to put this dress on, and you don't typically wear this kind of stuff. Like, don't wear that. That's not you.
Yeah, that's true too. Like Kimberly did the same thing. You could tell Kimberly's not a glamour girl, but she did try to put on her little sparkly dress, and a girdle would have made a hell of a difference. But I don't think the reason why this comes to mind for me is I worked in a tailor shop for 2 years, and a lot of times I would encourage women to get foundation garments, and they would come back to me like, "Oh, you were right." The weirdest, especially, it's usually people that don't usually go to formal events, and then they suddenly have to go to a formal event, and they come in and they say, "I have this dress, but it's not fitting right." And I tell them it's not necessarily the fit of the outfit, but the foundation garments that you have on. Like, for instance, this woman came in, she's got a sports bra on, and she's like, "The top doesn't fit me right." And I'm like, "You're wearing a sports bra. You have to put on like a proper like strapless bra, and then we'll, tailor the dress once you have the strapless bra underneath the dress." And I always used to tell them, if you're the type of person that you don't like to wear bras, I can cut the back of the bra off and sew from here to here. I'm gonna put my camera down. From here to here, the bra into the dress, so that when you put it on, there's a bra already in the dress, and it might be more comfortable for you, and it will still give a better silhouette than trying to wear it with a sports bra. But these are just little things. With the guys, they were reminding me of something, and all I could think of was Forrest Gump. And it's the shoes. I think both of them let these shoes mess up the entire suit. These are nice spring suits, and I like that they wore spring suits, because I'm guessing that's when this was shot, either in the spring or the summer. And it just wear the right shoes with it. He's just got sneakers on, which, knowing him, they're probably some type of either, well, I would say fake designer, but now he's got a TLC check, so he probably bought some real designer shoes this time. I think Jenny looks nice. I like that she's wearing, I don't know what this is called because it's not a sari, but it is Indian style clothing. I think that she could have went with a more pinker color. That's more of like a mauve, which looks fine, but I think pink really would have popped on her because she has blonde hair. Yeah. I think that I would have advised that. But Jenny was like a rock star this episode. She was like the only one that was fully willing to go in on Ed. she said, "Kiss my ass, dude." And I was like, but we saw that Jenny had a little fire in her when she was arguing with Cement. I was actually scared for Cement because I thought she was really gonna hit him. She looked like she was about to hit him for a second there.
I was about to not like Jenny anymore. I got kind of scared. I was like, okay. This doesn't really happen too much. That was the last time we saw that. Maybe she's not really like this all the time, but I could see her frustration because she's like trapped in a place where, the family hates her and she has no social life, especially now that he's working. But that was kind of funny too at the same time. Her charging him.
Okay, now before we wrap it up, do we have some more Notary? It's been responding while we're talking. I keep forgetting to look so I can see it more quickly. Nothing. No. Tony says, "Strap up, ladies. You're about to take a ride into the mind of Fashion Free." Well, my channel was named Fashion Free because I actually did. If you watch my older videos, I was broadcasting inside of my design studio. And then I became really disillusioned with fashion. And now I'm like almost anti-fashion as far as like high fashion, because I think they're doing straight bullshit on the runways for clicks and views, and it's not art anymore. Have you
seen those like sideways dresses recently that are like just full dresses, like upside down and sideways?
No, I haven't seen those, but I saw like the giant shoes, and there was one, it wasn't Valentino. Who was it? It was just this past fall for Fashion Week. There was a designer who made the models wear these shoes they couldn't even walk in. It was torturous watching them watch that. And one of the shoes broke as they were going down the runway. And I'm like, how are you going to sell people shoes that are thousands of dollars and they break within, not even a minute of a model walking in them? That's bad PR. I think the best fashion show I saw of the fall was Christian Louboutin had a nice fashion show, and that's a shoe company. They just did shoes and purses, but it was a really nice, well put together fashion show. Valentino's fashion show was really nicely put together. I didn't love all the looks, but the way they had the show halfway indoors and halfway outdoors so that the public could see the show, and they had a lot of people on a bridge outside watching the fashion show, that kind of made it more accessible to not just the elite that sit front row. And they live streamed it, which is the reason why I was able to see it. So I thought that was a good idea that they were stepping into 2023. Tony Man says, I like Bilal's suit. I like the color and the fit. I can like the outfit, but not the person in it. This is absolutely true.
Yep.
Also saying wearing sneakers with suits is a thing, I guess. I see them wearing that constantly on ESPN and NFL channel. Also, maybe it's a trend that I didn't know about. I just thought for the tell-all.
Yeah, women are wearing lots of tennis shoes with dresses and things like that. I think it's just a tennis shoe trend because we're tired of our feet hurting in like the proper shoes. So I'm okay with it.
I'm guilty because I have some shoes. I wore this with a skirt yesterday. Like
that's what I wear most of the time.
Yeah, they're super comfortable.
Yeah.
So I'm guilty. I'm guilty of it. All right, let me share the screen so we can read some of these tweets, and then we'll get out of here probably in the next 10 minutes or so. Because we're both, I have another live stream tonight at 8 o'clock I'm going to be talking about From, and hopefully D-Ray is going to be able to see another movie to review for sometime next week. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to see the same movie tomorrow. I don't know whether I didn't know whether you wanted to announce it or not. I'm going to try to see it sometime this weekend too, because I'm very interested. It looks like it's going to be a thriller more so than a horror movie, and I like thrillers as well. Okay, it is up there. All right. So we have an update on Colt. He looks like he's having a weight loss journey that's very positive. It's good for him. I'm glad to see him being in better shape. If we could just get rid of this Billy Goat Gruff beard, which I think he flat irons. Like I swear his beard looks like somebody's flat ironing it. It doesn't look right, but I am proud of him for trying to get his fitness together. I think he'll have an improved quality of life once he's, in a little bit better shape, healthily. Oh, and shout out to 90 Day Fiance Trash Talk Podcast for posting that on Twitter. Okay, and then 90 Day Cray says, it quotes Jovi's mother, "You all need to grow up. Ed, how old are you?" And that was the one moment that Ed actually shut the fuck up. When she said that, how old are you?
Unless it was editing, but
that's true.
Cool if it was real.
Yeah. And they say, love Mama Gwen for calling it as it is. 90 bidet fiance. That says, sisterhood of the sexually liberated over the hill new best friends. I am all for them being over the hill and sexually liberated. I just don't love their choice of men, except for like Summit would be like, just visually, Summit's not a bad looking guy. He just has this whole staying on his mom's tit thing that is unattractive to me. But personally, I don't think he's a bad, like in comparison, I don't see a whole lot of toxicity from him. I don't see him being like hard to get along with. It's just the whole familial thing with him.
Yeah. And
he really does seem to really care for Jenny. Like, we might not understand it, but we don't have to. They understand it. So, and if it was reversed, like if it was a man that's in his 60s with a woman in her 30s, we wouldn't even question it because we see it all the time. I still question it because like that's who I am, but it happens all the time in reverse. New Disaster says this bartender is not paid well enough to deal with this cast, and has a picture of dude from Abbott Elementary. Shabuti says, damn, Miona got ethered by this meme. Goddamn, they went in. And it's Miona from 90 Day Before the 90 Day. It says hair extensions made with real horse, slightly toned down blackfishing, weird new butt brought to you by Jiffy Popcorn, rental vehicle. And then it says Daria's boots if Daria were a hooker. And then it says Airbnb driveway.
Her butt was already huge as it is. This is just not natural looking.
It's not natural looking, and also the trend is over. I don't know why her and Jabari are so delayed. Like they're giving 2016. Like 2016, what's popping, what's fashionable, all of this is 2016, 2017. And it's like we're going into 2023, and this is not even a look that's popping anymore. Like even with the Instagram makeup, everybody's doing clean girl makeup now. Like not Instagram makeup. It's kind of over. Blackfishing was never a cool thing. So Although I don't consider her really blackfishing. I would never look at this picture and say that's a black woman. It just looks like a woman with a tan. So, I mean, features are a thing. we have, it's more than just skin color. We have features. That's the reason why you can tell the difference between maybe like a dark-skinned a South Indian person and a dark-skinned Nigerian person. They both have the same skin tone, but you could tell one's from Nigeria and one's from India because features are a thing. 90 Day Cray says, not 100% against this setup. Chuck's patience could be good with Angela, and they could wear their matching MAGA hats. I would pay to see them go on a date. TLC, do that. Please
He's
do
not
that.
into her. He wouldn't come near her with a 10-foot pole.
Just film the date, even if they don't get along. I just want to see it. I want to be a fly on the wall. But I bet you he put her in her place, and she wouldn't like it. Because Chuck is a Floridian, so there might be a little bit of Florida man in there.
I don't care for that man too much.
Yeah. Veronica says, who is hiring this abusive little puke for speaking engagements? Yes, he did say that he was flying to Boston for a speaking engagement.
Ugh. Probably a lie. He's lying.
Yeah. Kimberly's T-shirts says, lest we forget, Yara wasn't exactly a looker before tens of thousands of dollars worth of surgery too. And I retweeted this because I had never seen her picture before. It looks like
I knew she had the surgery because it's obvious, but yeah, I didn't know what she looked like. That's That's a lot.
And she did say it on one of the tell-alls where she was on with Julia, and they had a back and forth because Julia was saying she doesn't believe in plastic surgery. She believes in just working out at the gym. And Yara said, I can't work my nose out at the gym. I had a nose job and I look better because of it. And they had a back and forth outside of that where Julie was like, I forgot what Julia said, but Yara was just talking down on her country saying, you know, Russia's this, that, and the other. And then I guess after the war popped off, Julia said to Yara on Instagram, well, what was that you were saying now? And I was like, Jesus, that went dark quickly.
Oh.
And what's the funniest thing is many years ago, I don't know the exact date, but they were all one country before it split. Ukraine was part of Russia, and now it's split, it's separated. We have so many places in the world that were like that. Like Pakistan was part of India. The lower part of the United States was part of Mexico. Like, anyways, Nico Watches TV says there's nothing cute about Ed. He's a misogynistic pig who treats his partners like trash. Enough is enough with giving this abusive man screen time. Also, his buttons are screaming.
Yeah.
His distribution
if I had
is
to choose, I would choose Angela over him. But if I had to pick, if they bring them both back, like, come on, just give me a break already. I'm over it.
And the worst part is Angela didn't use her powers of evil against Ed. Of all the people she decides to speak nicely and softly to, she does it to Ed. And I'm like, no, one thing we wanted you to do to use your rage for was on him.
Because they're the same terrible, toxic type people.
90 Day Fiance fan says, why does she keep going back to him? They're both idiots.
Man.
Jean-Luc Picard says, I'm not liking this Golden Girls reboot.
Yeah.
That's another one I would pay to see a road trip show about. Make a road trip show with Usman and Michael, and make a road trip show with these three ladies. Just send them on like random tasks in the United States. I think that would be funny. Kind of like how, do you remember when Paris Hilton and Lionel Richie's daughter? Yeah, Nicole Richie had that show, The Simple Life.
Yeah.
Like something that style. 90 Day Cray says, Yara's friends need to shut their mouth about Jovi's looks and remember their daughter looks just like him. And I didn't even think about that, but that's so true. Every time you insult him, you're de facto kind of insulting the baby too. And like I said, I don't think Jovi is a bad looking guy. He just looks like the average guy. He's not ugly. He's not a model. Ugly. He's just average. His personality is what takes him down the few points.
A million notches.
Yeah. Ms. Alice says,
wow.
Yeah. Says, was Yara out of Jovi's league before all her plastic surgery? I think everybody should be able to do what makes them feel better about themselves, but that doesn't make them better than anyone else, which is a good point. I actually think she looks cute this way too. Like she has a memorable face, but she definitely looks more glamorous now in conventional terms. But I thought she was cute before.
Yeah.
White Diamonds says, "Don't get Jenny started. She's quiet until she's not." And she said, "Yeah, that." And her head was going too. It's my turn until yeah, that head and neck was going.
You know she was shaking too. Just ooh.
Big Ed's neck says, "Kim telling Liz to toss red wine on Ed. I love how much Kim loves throwing drinks, and I'm here for it." I really kind of was agreeing, even though usually I don't agree with throwing drinks on people. That moment, I agreed with the red wine on his shirt. Like he deserves it. Gino's hat, which is great name. Gino's hat, because remember when what's her name kept on grabbing his hat and throwing it off because she knows that he doesn't like being seen without his hat. That tell all when she kept on saying she wanted his meat. I want your meat. Like Jasmine, that was her name, Jasmine, because the way he kept on saying it with that Midwestern accent where he'd be like, "You don't have to be mean, Jasmine." It's like the two of them together. Says, "I volunteer as tribute," and says somebody needs to throw some wine on Ed's face. See? I can't remember her name, but she was on the last 90 Day with the gentleman that she met in China. Yeah, Emily. That's right, Emily.
I used to not like her, but I like her now with her and her relationship. But yeah, she's just a big spoiled brat. So spoiled.
TV Food and Book says, "When you piss off Jenny, you know you're in the wrong." And they put her with the "kiss my ass, dude," which is the best. Is because Jenny's from California, and it feels so California to say, "Kiss my ass, dude." Big Ed's neck says, "When someone tries to tell me what to do, capital no."
Big Ed's neck. Lord.
White Diamond says, "Jovi made the best decision to go on his trip anyway. Yara knew of his planned trip. She could have waited. This wasn't emergency surgery." I think the thing with her trying to get in was to get in to see that specific doctor because he was on television, which means that he probably has like a waiting list, but still. Diomio says, "Who else thinks Andre is jealous that Jovi is with Yara?" Now they would make a really great looking couple, Andre and Yara, but they wouldn't get along because they're both headstrong. They would knock heads a lot. Big Ed's neck also says, "I've never loved Jenny more," and it says it has a picture of Jenny saying, "And like, what is so special about him? Nothing is special about him." Exactly. She kept on asking Ed, "What makes you so special?" I think that's the end of the tweets because I'm getting to there. And with that, we can finally wrap it up because I don't want to keep DeRay too long because I know she got stuff she got to do too. Chat, what did you guys think of our roundup? I think we had a good time today.
Yeah. Till next season, y'all.
What do you think of next season? Did you see the trailer? There was a short trailer. It was like 3 minutes.
Oh, I didn't.
I saw it. It didn't. Well, the things I remember is one woman is older, like Jenny and Angela and Kimberly. Boy, I can't say her name normal anymore. She's always going to be Kimberly, not Kimberly. But she was with a gentleman from Morocco, I think, and she fell off of a donkey. She was riding a donkey. He was walking with her on this donkey, and she fell off. I remember that. There's a lesbian couple. I'm not sure what country they're in. That's all I remember.
Is this for The Other Way, or is it still America?
I think it's 90 Day. I think it's 90 Day the Other Way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I try to get into those, but like I'll do like 1 or 3 episodes and I always fall off of those.
Yeah, the same. The only one that was interesting to me was when that sad-eyed girl went to go see Ji-hoon in South Korea. That was kind of interesting story because of how I don't remember her name. I just remember she had the saddest eyes. Like I kind of felt bad for her, but then it ended up that she was saying a lot of lies, so that's not cool. And Ji-hoon was
black-haired girl, right?
Yeah, she had like this gothic look. She's real pretty.
She's now married with some other Asian dude, and they have a whole new baby. And they have a whole family now, and I'm just like, well, she got exactly what she wanted. That was the only one that I think I can like recall being interested in.
And Ji-hoon was very similar to Sumit about his parents, except for his parents wanted him to leave and be on his own. His mother was like, "You're supposed to be looking at apartments. How come you didn't just like his mother?" The funniest thing is when his father was about to say something and his mother was like, "Shut up, I'm talking." And his father just put his head down and walked away like, "Really? You just gonna let her talk to you like that?" Okay. She said, "Shut up, I'm talking." And he said, and I'm still, like I said before in one of my earlier streams, all around the world, you have these men saying how men are supposed to be this and we're supposed to be the leader and we're supposed to do this. But everywhere, I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing Michael saying, "I got to get permission from my mother." Usman saying, "I got to get permission from my mother." Sumit saying, "Oh, it's up to my mother." Ji-hoon saying, "Oh, it's up to my mother." Where's all this patriarchy that you guys claim exists? Because I didn't see no one here says I need to talk to my father. I need to get my father's approval. It's all the mother. So it's like, I think we're living in a state where a lot of women around the world have let men think they're leading things, but they're really not. This is my take.
Yep.
Okay, a couple more comments. And thank you to the chat, by the way. If I didn't thank you earlier, thank you so much for coming through. Electronic Notary Stamp says LOL. And also Selena saying the same thing. And Tony says, "It was great. I need to know the spoiler of the movie." Of Infinity Pool. No, you just got to watch it. And I think it's Cronenberg, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Son,
The last,
Brandon.
Yeah. Didn't he do Possessor?
Yes, I like that movie a lot. Yeah.
I liked it too. Tony says donkeys don't like being ridden by jackasses. And then also, that's younger men. I don't need permission for shit from anyone. Well, yeah. Obviously, when you get to a certain age, you're not going to ask your parents for permission to do shit. Like, yes. I remember being so shocked one time when I was a child when my great grandmother yelled at my grandmother, and it was the first time I realized, oh wait, that's her mother. Like I didn't, because I saw my grandmother as, oh, this is my grandmother, she knows everything. And then my great grandmother was like, "You stop that." And I was just like, she can still tell her. Stop something? Okay. Wow. It blew my mind as a kid. Like, wow, parents have parents.
That is a funny realization. Yep.
But for some reason, I always got it with my mother. Like I always understood that my grandmother was my mother's mother, but with my great grandmother, I guess I saw them both as just grandmothers. So I didn't see how one was, the status of one being higher than the other.
Yep.
All right. With that, I'm going to wrap it up. And like I said, thank y'all so much for coming through. We had a great time talking about stuff. I'm sure we could talk a whole nother hour if we really got deeply into this, but the tell-all was long enough. And I think an hour and 45 minutes spent on it is long enough for us to go through. So with that, I'm going to say good night to everyone. And thank you all again.
Good night.